Mike, that's far up.
And he's 5 1/3 seconds behind Brad Keselowski, while the 22's been out there in the clear air. So past halfway here at Richmond International Raceway. Brad Keselowski in command of the race right now, up by 1.5 seconds on his Penske teammate Justin Allgaier.
Welcome back to Richmond International Raceway. Let's get you caught up on what's happened so far with the 5-hour Energy Rapid Recap. Pole sitter Kyle Busch got out to the early lead, led the first 58 laps. Looks pretty good early on.
Yeah, very strong. Took off, ran off, and hid for about 58 laps until Brad Keselowski started tracking him down.
Yeah, came back and said, you know what, not so much. I want a chance to lead this. And at one point, he has been bad fast. Brad Keselowski was leading by 4.5 seconds at one point. And then, of course, the caution came out. Yep. Leaders came on for their first pit stop on lap 198. Kyle Busch, not a good stop. He lost 4 spots.
Lost 4 spots. Looked like they got hung up on that left rear and just had a tough pit stop, put him way back. But he is marching back up towards the front, Nicole, as we speak.
Kyle is back in 5th, and of course he wasn't too happy with that. But back up front, all pretty much the last few laps, it's been all Penske all the time. We've seen this before. Perhaps another short track.
Justin Allgaier's done an unbelievable job tonight. Brad Keselowski's toting the mail.
But back up front, it's Brad Keselowski, been leading the way for a while now, and he's leading his teammate Justin Allgaier by nearly 2 seconds. So let's get you up to speed with what's going on with the rest of the top runners. Mike Massaro kicking things off.
Well, Nicole, at the beginning of this run, your leader, Justin Allgaier Brad Keselowski said the car was just about perfect, except he may have a problem with his brakes. He's been asking his spotter to take a look at the rotors to see if they're glowing or not. It seems like whenever he hits them hard, they start to chatter a little bit, so we'll pay attention to that. That could be a developing problem for Keselowski as this race wears on. Dave?
So, Mike, what about this 2010 turnaround for Penske? Crew chief Chad Walter told me that in Allgaier's case, they saw it coming even before the short track Bristol win. The feedback that he was getting from Justin was so much better than last year, he knew that their time and expense had been worth it. Right now, Justin's struggling with grip off the corners.
Has not won a race in 2010, but he is a 3-time winner here at Richmond International Raceway. The car he's driving tonight is the newest short track car to come out of the Roush Fenway stable. Carl says the car is really coming to him after the air pressure and track bar adjustment. He's hoping to be able to get his first win tonight. Mike.
Doc, during practice, Kevin Harvick was not very happy with his race car. He felt like when he was on worn tires, the car wasn't comfortable anywhere on the racetrack. However, his crew chief, Ernie Cope, said that's when Kevin Harvick really shines. He knows how to adjust to these types of conditions. That's exactly what he's done so far tonight. Doesn't seem to be bothering him. He's been running inside the top 5 throughout the course of the evening. Meanwhile, Kyle Busch trying to rally. You remember the last pit stop. He lost 4 positions on pit road. He's picked up 1 spot, although he's still looking for some more side bite and some more forward bite. The car not perfect, but he is moving forward, Doc.
And Reed Sorensen running back in 6th position in the 32 car. There comes Reed. He said as suddenly the car just loses its front grip. He ran the first 65 laps and the car was great. Lap 66, the front grip went away. He said now the front grip is gone again. He can only run the middle or upper groove and arc it in. Otherwise, the car will not turn at all. Behind him is the 27 car, and that is Greg Biffle. Greg said the car is very, very loose in. In fact, he said it is so loose in, I cannot arc the corner, which means it's going to be tight coming off. If we could fix the loose end, I could arc it and be much quicker getting off. Mike.
Doc, as Alan said, the 88 team weren't really sure what to expect this evening. The car was so loose off the truck, they worked on tightening it up, but Pops thought that if they set the car up tight, it would work and the car would come to him. That's been the case, and you can see McMurray now making his way through traffic, bypassing 1 car and picking up yet another spot. He has high hopes for this car, high hopes for McMurray, and feels like he could turn into a very solid short track racer, because after all, Tony Eury, this is the type of racing he loves, and he thinks that's going to rub off. Meanwhile, Joey Logano back in the 20 car. Well, he's been fighting that car most of the evening, saying the car's been all over the place. At some points it's been tight, at other points it's been loose. It has been a struggle. They've already talked about what they're planning to do the next time down pit road. They're going to make a wedge adjustment and really try to free that car up a little bit, Dave.
In Countdown tonight, Mike, Matt Kenseth called himself picky. Well, he's being picky again. They cannot get the this car right. He's given crew chief Eddie Pardue another litany of adjustments that he's suggesting for the race car. It just won't do anything for him. You know, it's been 8 races since he's raced with this team. That may not seem like a long time to you, but in this series, that's an eternity, and they're struggling. Lost 4 positions since the restart. Behind him, the 40 car of Mike Bliss. They're actually doing very well. Came down pit road a couple of yellows ago to put on a set of 4 tires. He didn't like the set he had on before. Crew chief Gary Showalter told me they will have to stop again, both for fuel and a set of tires. Doc?
And give a call to Brendan Gaughan to the 62 team. I mean, they have fought some little gremlins early on. When the race began, they were having radio issues. Suddenly the radios just quit and they couldn't communicate. They got that rectified. They worked on a loose race car that was loose in and tied off. And Brendan has been very, very patient on the racetrack as he now moves toward the top 10. Dave.
Kelly Byers in the 10 car has been very solid tonight as he gets pressure now from Stephen Wallace. Wallace will look to the inside. This relationship for Byers with Braun Racing started last year when he ran a few starting parks and then a full race at Iowa. He said, I like crew chief Stuart Cooper. They like the way I drove the car. And when it came time for me looking for a ride this year, we got together again. Doc?
And how about the 35 car? You say momentum doesn't work. Last week at Talladega, this car with Jason Keller, the $13 million man who has more starts in this series than anybody, had a top 5 finish. The team is so pumped up. They've got no sponsorship, very little funding, but here he is running in the top 15. Dave.
Doc, during this run, James Buescher is going the wrong way. They made some adjustments to the car earlier that really helped it, and they cooled the car down. He was running really, really hot, was worried that he might blow the motor, but they got tape off the grill. He's been running cool, but he's losing positions right now from a loose race car. Doc?
How many times have you heard someone say, I'm going to Disney World? Well, that's exactly what Paul Menard did to learn how to drive a flat racetrack. The 98 car had issues in last year running at Richmond, but they took the car down to Disney World, and they said, you know what? He learned so much on the flat track. This car was really good at Phoenix and is running well here today. Nicole?
Of the 43 cars that started this race, only 16 cars are left on the lead wrap. Brad Keselowski picking them off one by one. More from Richmond when we come back.
Talk a little baseball for just a minute. Sunday and Monday night, first Jose Reyes and the Mets face Philadelphia and Ryan Howard on Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. That's at 8 Eastern time. Then on Monday Night Baseball, presented by Sears Lawn and Garden, it's Torrey Hunter and the Angels taking on Kevin Youkilis and the Boston Red Sox. That's at 7 Eastern. Major League Baseball, ESPN and ESPN3.com Sunday and Monday. Under green with 76 laps to go here at Richmond International Raceway. Brad Keselowski out in front, and closest race among the lead group at the moment is Kelly Byers in 12th and Brendan Gaughan in 13th, trying to take it away. That's the 10 and the 62 cars. Again, just joining us, that 62 got a lap down earlier, got a free pass, made it up, and they've had some good speed in this segment of the race.
Here goes Harvick on the move now underneath Edwards.
I see Carl's been struggling just a little bit on late.
Yeah, look at whoa, sideways off the corner. Wow,
that's loose.
That's loose,
and that's late on exit off a turn too. Yeah.
So that puts Harvick up to third. That's the good news for Kevin. Bad news is he's 5.5 seconds behind Brad Keselowski. Now, we've had a long green flag run here. It's been a while. Let me rephrase. It's been a while since the leaders have pitted. They were last on pit road at lap number 98, right? Now, we get these long green flag runs at Richmond where guys are leaning on the brakes heavily. A lot of times the next caution comes from...
Don't say it. Don't say it.
You don't want me to jinx somebody?
No, don't jinx it.
All right.
I know where you're going.
Well, when it happens shortly, we'll tell you that's what I was talking about.
Well, I can tell you, if any of these guys got a problem entering these long runs, it just compounds that problem, makes it worse. And there's probably some cars out there in this long run right now, right on the edge of hurting right front tires because of this brake heat I've been talking about.
There, he said it.
He said it. I said it. Okay.
I said it first. But
I'll take the blame.
Down there on the box, you're sitting there hoping that your car is not the one that's going to do it first, because somebody's going to if they run long enough, and you'll get a caution, but you don't want yours to be the one.
You know, Andy, if you're driving this car and you're feeling something weird, you just got to manage that thing in yourself. You know how hard you can drive it. You know if you're over driving it.
How about that? Jason Keller there.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, third fastest speed there at the line.
Now, we've been keeping an eye on the speeds at the line because for a while, Kyle Busch was running faster laps than Brad Keselowski was. But now, Brad's out in some clear track, and he's kind of turned up the heat again a little bit where these lap times are concerned.
Yeah. I mean,